It's, of course, on The Young and the Restless on CBS. Too early for me. Some people, I'm too late for them. You're too early for me. And you've won an Emmy for that. And you're my friend. Good to have you here. Erin, Shannon, thank you for coming back. You're a conservative activist and the Public Relations Director for the Building Industry Association of Washington State. That's timber?
Home building.
Home building. Something to do with wood. All right. Boots Riley, your new record, The Coup.
Yep.
Okay, is that your group? And the record
group is The Coup.
The group is The Coup. The record's called Party Music. I know there was another cover for it, which we can't show, but I'll tell them about it later.
Don't be scared.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Honey, if I was scared, I wouldn't be in all this. Okay. Harland Williams, I love you. And that's all. No, you're a very funny comedian and actor, and I'm glad you're back with us. Please give a hand to this panel. Okay. Now, this is Dick Cheney's birthday today. He's 61 years young, and they gave him breakfast in bed with Enron today.
Thanks so much.
Where he's in a lot of trouble. It was not such a good birthday because the General Services Administration, which is the arm that would sue and is suing the Vice President to release the records of what he was talking about with energy executives like Enron, who have met with him many times, and lots of people say, well, our policy is being influenced by these large corporate donors who meet behind closed doors with Vice President Cheney's task force. If he has nothing to hide, why doesn't he say who he met with and what they were talking about, instead of just getting in the Bronco and leaving? Oh, I forgot O.J. was innocent. I always forget that. But he claims that the White House needs to be able to talk to experts in confidence, except that, you know, this ain't the boardroom, Dick. Your business is our business. Ain't that the truth?
He is a publicly elected official, sits in a public house, and therefore the business that is conducted in that house should be accessible by the public.
And you know what they want to hide is the fact that these corporations are really the ones that make public policy. We don't really vote for politicians. We vote for corporate puppets. And not only were they making energy policy up in there, they were dictating it to us. And what other policy do these corporations help make? I want to know who told them to cut welfare reform. Which corporations were in the boardroom meeting with Bill Clinton on that? I want to know really if they have something to do about this war, because we know that the State Department was working with Enron. How do we know that, and I'm not going to say how we know, I know that the bombing that's going on in Afghanistan is not to fight terrorism, it's to create little states, little Enron states, little Exxon states all throughout the Middle East, and little Chiquita banana republics.
You
know?
Bruce. According to the law, he does not have to, legally he does not have to produce this information.
Yeah.
It's protected under executive privilege.
I know,
and as the largest energy trading company in the world,
first of all, it's not. Executive privilege has to do with national security. Not about who paid for your negative ads.
This is the only administration that
Go ahead.
It has to do with the confidentiality of who the president and the executive vice president can meet with, who they can talk to.
We want to keep it confidential that they get paid off. We want to keep it confidential that they get paid off by these corporations, and that they're lying to the public, saying that we're voting for people to run the government, but we're really not voting for people to run the government. We're voting for people to get ran by the corporations.
As the largest energy trading company in the world, at one time they were the largest energy trading company in the world. They would have been remiss not to meet with Enron when they're formulating a national energy policy.
That's amazing to me that people say that they had to listen to the experts. In other words, you got to bring the fox right into the hen house to find out how to kill the chickens. Look, don't we have an entire energy department Shouldn't they also be experts on what goes on with energy? Why do we need the people whose self-interest it is?
Well, listen, Mel, if we can spend a year, you know, we spent a year watching Clinton on video talking about his little how do you do, hello, how are you with Monica, which is useless information to us all. I'm sure we can hear what goes on in a boardroom, you know? I mean, come on.
And not only are they listening to these corporations, they're owned by these corporations. The people in the cabinet are on the payroll for Enron. The head of the Republican National Committee collects a 7-figure salary from Enron and lobbies for them. You know, and they fire people on the cabinet. They say this person is not working
I agree with some
and they fire them.
Yeah,
so the whole
I agree with some of what you say.
I don't think Enron's trying to take over Afghanistan.
But precisely. I mean,
well, they have enough troubles.
Your
conclusion
that we are trying to establish banana republics in Afghanistan,
no.
That's a far-fetched conclusion, you know.
It's not just Enron.
It's not far-fetched if you look at the facts.
Well,
Let's talk about facts.
Let's
talk about this hair, man. That's what I want to talk about.
Let's start with the handlebar mustache.
All right. Wait, whoa.
Say, Bill, though, that it's not just Enron.
This man is trying out.
Whoa, would you please?
He's met with representatives of energy alternatives to energy.
Yeah, but those people did...
Energy.
Right. I mean, you can't quite even get it out without laughing. I mean, yes, he's met with environmentalists, too, and somehow their wishes don't quite make it into the policy.
What wishes of Enron's made it into the
You've got to be
known that Enron has supported the Bush family for years.
It's known that Enron supported Clinton
it is known
for years. He gave more money to Clinton than the Democrats.
That's nonsense. 75% of the monies given by Enron have gone to the Republican Party, 25% to the Democratic Party.
Yes,
right?
and it is true. And it is true that corporations give to both parties because that is how corrupt our system is. You have to hedge your bets because the other guy might win, and you want to have a bribe down on them too. But they did give more to the Republicans because, you know, if you want to get laid, you go out with the slutty girl first.
Ken Lay stayed at the White House. Ken Lay stayed at the White House 11 times.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Kenneth Lay stayed at the White House 11 times while Bill Clinton was president. He was a major donor to Bill Clinton. They were major donors to the DNC.
I think Bill Clinton got laid 11 times at the White House.
I'm not out of that.
Look, now,
not with Hillary, though.
On the flip side of this, though, man, I mean, a lot of people got wiped out at Enron. A lot of people lost their life savings. And in a situation like that, where people got hurt, you know, maybe we do have to open up the doors and see what the hell went down,
but
you know?
what they want to look at has nothing to do with that. That needs to be investigated. I mean, that makes you lose your faith in free market systems, what happened at Enron. That is true. But what they want to see has nothing to do. Henry Waxman was asking for this information well before Enron fell.
Now,
earlier this summer, he was trying to get this as soon as it became knowledge that Dick Cheney met with executives from Enron and other special interest officials. As soon as that became public knowledge that he met with them and that their discussions may have played a part in the formulation of the national energy policy. Thank you.
Where did you hear that? That's a crock. Where did you hear that? That is the biggest load I've ever heard in my life. Come on, buddy, back me up.
Now what does that have to do?
Come on, buddy.
Come on. What she's saying is true, but it don't got nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
So what they wanted that information. The memo that Enron, the memo that Kenneth Lay gave. Hey, hold on. The memo that Kenneth Lay gave to Bush and them is exactly the energy policy that was laid out. You know, that's exactly the energy policy. So you can't say that Enron didn't dictate that.
That's not true. There were 9 proposals in Enron. There were 9 things Enron was asking for, 7 of which...
We will be back to Waylon Flowers and Mama in a second. We have to take
2 of which were in our...
Happy birthday today to Mr. Dick Cheney. Vice President Cheney is 61 years old today. He had a nice party. Karl Rove brought the food. Dick Armey brought the liquor. And, of course, Enron brought the confetti. Well, Mike Tyson today was denied his Nevada boxing license to fight Lennox Lewis, who confirmed that during the fight that broke out during last week's news conference, that Tyson did it again. He bit. He's a biter. Tyson tried to put a good spin on this with the commission, with a shout-out to the kids. He said, kids always brush between fighters. All right. There was a story in the paper today that I really want to talk about. There's a woman in Florida. Her name is Sultana Freeman. She is a Muslim woman. She wears a veil. She covers her face. She was having her driver's license photo taken, and she would not take off the veil, and she is suing, saying, her quote was, "I don't show my face to strangers or unrelated males." But she wants to drive and have a driver's license.
God bless Sultana, but there's a separation of church and state in America. And if the state asks you to take your veil off to be photographed, then you bloody well do that.
Yeah, you can't hide behind religion, man. That's like, hey, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in anything, so technically I don't have to be here, so just give me a blank driver's license. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What you're not mentioning, though, that should be said before September 11th, she was given 2 driver's licenses wearing her veil, and it wasn't a problem.
Right.
But now it only became a problem because of who she is. I bet you they're not. I bet you know that.
Yeah, but times are different, dude.
So whatever. I mean,
we have to.
That's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is that now we're getting all of these laws, or all of these practices that are being enforced because of September 11th that don't have anything to do with the law, because obviously that wasn't important to them.
First of all, let's have this premise then. They should have made her take the veil off for those other photos,
Absolutely.
okay? Let's forget September 11th. Let's just say this is a person living in America who wants a photo of herself or her she wants to drive. But she will not bend that much. She will come to the melting pot, but not melt a little bit. She wants to keep this 8th century practice. Okay, you know what? Why don't we...
You can't do it, because it's like, you know, if you do it for driver's license, you have to do it for everything. Like Sikhs carry a ceremonial dagger.
Right.
How do they go through onto the airplanes? You know, are we going to let that happen because that's part of their religion? You know,
I think that this is just a beginning, a part of it, because at the same time as they're doing this, saying that it's for security reasons or whatever, in New York, they're not going to let protesters wear masks, and the reason that they wear masks is because they're scared to death of the police out there. They're scared that they're going to get a visit in the middle of the night, you know, even though this is supposed to be the land of the free. You know, you'll get your picture taken and they'll surveil you, things like that. People need to wear masks to protect themselves from the police, and they're making them not wear masks or else they'll get arrested.
You're making enormous jumps now. You're making enormous
collecting
jumps.
candy.
One is to try to get a driver's license from the state.
But there's a reason this is brought up, right? This is not just to talk about
the greatness of this country. The greatness of this country is based on the separation of church and state. That is what makes this country great. You don't impose your religious views on state government. You do not do that in this country.
We don't walk into it.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't want to do that.
That's done all the time.
No, we don't want to do that.
No,
I'm saying that's done all the time.
And that doesn't only apply to Muslims.
It's not a right. You're not entitled. You're not born with
You don't walk into a church and tell everyone to, you know, stick a loaf of garlic bread to their head and say, this is my way, man.
What I'm saying is that this issue is really trivial, but I'm bringing up the point.
It's not trivial.
What I'm bringing up is the point, because whether she gets a license or not, whatever. Whether she gets a license or not, whatever, the point is that they're bringing up all of these things
because it gets to something very important.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, wear masks or
I'll
wear
tell you
whatever
why
they
it's
want
not
to wear.
trivial if you'll shut up for 1 second.
1 second's up.
There is a clash. President Bush would have us believe there is not a clash of civilizations going on here, but this to me is a clash of civilizations. And one that I don't think we should have to shrink from. I don't think we should have to always make all the concessions here.
I agree with you. It's not even a question. I agree with you.
There has to be a system, man.
Simple as it is.
And I'll go a step further and say that, you know, I've never been one of those people who says, America, love it or leave it. I thought that was stupid when I first heard it in the 60s. I think it's stupid now. You should be able to criticize your country. But if a woman says, I don't show my face to strangers or unrelated males,
then you don't get a license.
I also don't know how you can really fit into this culture. I mean, we can go back maybe a century. We can't go back 10 centuries and try to fit those together.
Well, we let them. You're saying she doesn't have the right to?
What's
that statement that you're saying right now? You're saying that you don't think it could fit into this culture.
I'm saying there is I'm saying that people who believe this, that is a clash of civilization.
The reason she's here is to escape the oppressive regimes of Middle Eastern governments.
Right.
That's why she's here.
She certainly has a right to practice her religion in this country.
The oppressive regimes that we support and we make oppressive.
Right. So
that we make oppressive.
Now, that's okay.
Yes.
These oppressive regimes
if she in private life has those beliefs, that's all right. But that does not mean that she has the right to dictate this to the state. Absolutely not. But in private life, of course, she can wear whatever she wants to wear.
But she's saying, I don't show my face to strangers or unrelated males.
So that's her private, that's her choice.
Right.
But you cannot dictate that to the state government. That's nonsense.
In 21st century America, that probably is going to present a problem in the workplace.
That's her problem, though.
That is her problem.
That should be her problem.
But she wants to drive. They want the best part of America, the modernity. They want all the good stuff. They want to have a cell phone to call to say, hey guys, come over to the beheading.
The problem is this was not a problem until September 11th, so all of these reasonings that you're giving...
Until September 11th.
Separation of church and state, all of these reasonings are just reasons to back up why we're cracking down and being hard on...
You're wrong. The issue of separation of church and state has been discussed from the beginning of this country.
The fact is that
September 11th,
this ain't nothing new.
This is nothing new.
September 11th, everything is different since September. You can't deny that, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Things have to be a little different. I had to wait 2 hours this morning at the airport while they rummaged through my luggage, and I'm happy to do it.
So you're saying that her covering her face is a security issue? Like everybody that was on that plane didn't have a license showing their...
Are you and I allowed to wear sunglasses when we take our picture?
What I'm saying is that...
What if everyone wanted to go back to the Middle Ages? What if I want my wife to wear a chastity belt when I go out of town?
It might be interesting.
You're bringing up something...
No, I'm saying that's medieval. And there are a lot of other things. There were 2 Iraqi guys.
You better, Bill, because I know where your wife lives.
I don't have a wife. There were 2 Iraqi guys who were arrested for statutory rape in this country because they didn't know why. Because in their culture, their uncle gave them a 14-year-old. Okay. There's another group, the Hmong. They're from Laos. They have a custom called marriage by capture. I don't think we have that here.
When you come to this country, you abide by the laws.
That's right.
You got to know.
Period. Now gone.
Right.
Every immigrant has done in the past. Do it now. That's as simple as it is. We all assimilated. I'm an immigrant. I assimilated.
Right.
Adjust to the laws that exist here. If you don't, stay home.
Right.
That's as simple as it is.
I got to take a break. We'll be back. Okay. Boots, I want to talk about your album cover. Now, that's the one that's out in the stores. It's called Party Music. So there's a picture of a guy holding a champagne glass.
It's a Molotov cocktail.
A Molotov cocktail? It looks like a cocktail.
With a martini.
It looks like a flaming martini.
Right, cool.
Here's the one that you want. I don't know if you can see that, but if you can get close enough in there. It's the World Trade Center on the day, just as the planes hit. And there are you guys. You don't look terribly upset about it in the foreground. You look like you're partying and...
Well, there are no planes being hit right there, but
it's the World Trade Center being hit by planes.
I think he's detonating it with a guitar tuner.
Yeah. Oh, you're detonating it.
See,
so tell me what this means and why you...
Well, it means, literally, the metaphor is supposed to be that our music is destroying capitalism. I have a bass guitar tuner, which is detonating the bomb.
Let me ask you, what have you got against capitalism?
DJ has...
Why do you want to destroy capitalism?
What have you got against capitalism?
Oh, the same reason that people should be against Enron controlling the government.
Okay, but that's not capitalism. That is...
Exactly. I live in capitalism. I have to be...
I know.
I'm on TV. They probably showed a Coke ad right now. I'm on something being done by Disney, so I have to use it to get my
capitalism.
What paradise do you envision?
Look, I envision
Where would you rather live?
I envision something so crazy that it should be more democratic. I think the people should control the profits that they create.
Dude, he's challenging
You know what I'm saying?
sumo wrestling.
And that's what should be.
Sumo wrestle you.
That's what communism is. That's what socialism is. I'm a communist. And I think that the people should have control over their own destiny.
By the way,
and over the profits.
Did you read any of the history of the 20th century?
You're more concerned with
Because they did try communism.
He's more concerned with material equality than he is with individual
And if people
rights.
know the definition of it,
Right.
they are one too.
But it doesn't work in practicality because it doesn't conform with human nature.
Now, first of all,
Human nature is greedy.
No, that's not true. Every single civilization that first started, every
They tried communism. Did you get the memo?
Every tribe
Sorry.
I did not try communism.
There's a
That is
reason
false.
for it.
Did you read the history book?
Yeah, I did.
The answer is they never even claimed to get to communism. Soviet Union only claimed that they were fighting for socialism, and they never got there. The point is that
Anything that redistributes wealth doesn't work.
you can either have a society like this where half a percent of the
I got to take a
population-
capitalistic
of course
break.
you got to go.
Excuse me, I got to sell. Okay, very important. And understand, this truly is a coincidence. This was out in May, before the towers were hit. A bad coincidence, but a coincidence.